Welcome. This is the Post-Secondary Transition Podcast. We have conversations around that process, including the ins and the outs for families of students with disabilities. I am one of the co-hosts. My name is Patrick Cadigan. I am a public school transition coordinator. And as always, I have a co-host. And who would that be?
My name is Megan Smallwood, and I am also a transition coordinator. And I think this is a conversation that we have been excited for and waited for a long time, but life gets in the way. So I am so happy that we are sitting down with Donna and Bayo from The Difference. Is it 2-17 or 217 or just The Difference?
It is 2-17. But, a lot of people say it in different ways. We accept all.
And I know the story behind that, but I want you to share. But welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here. We've waited to do this quite some time. So thank you.
But I think it was good that we waited because I know you've got lots of updates to share. Can we just start with like a little background about how you all began? Because I know you didn't start with self-direction.
No, we didn't start with self-directions. We started with a relationship between Alex, my son, and Bayo, probably about 15 years ago, when Bayo was working at a different facility and Alex was a member of that facility, and they had a really tight bond. So when I decided to change Alex from a traditional program to self-directed program, Bayo continued working with Alexander. And from there, we purchased a home. Both Alexander and Bayo lived together, still do. And, a friendship was formed. And from there, we decided to take it a step further and look at how we could improve people's lives that are currently in self-directed services by starting our own experience for people.
I kind of know a little bit of the background. It wasn't just you. There was other parents who had that vision as well, right?
Since we started, the vision was all about Alex at the beginning, because we know there's so much out there that he can do. We know all his potentials, and we know one of the things that have caused them to not be able to live to those potentials are, the way the traditional system was set up, not putting the member first. So when we went self-directed, we realized, okay, now Alex can do more, right? The opportunity is endless. We can open the doors. And as we see that progress with Alex and see him thrive tremendously, of course, the struggle of autism is still there, but we see progress in so many areas about his engagement in activities, his willingness to go out and explore new stuff, like going on an helicopter ride, for instance. He wouldn't have done that in this old system. So after that, we look like we have parents meeting with other parents, and they share their concern, and they're so excited to see Alex, thrive, because some of these parents are being part of his life somewhere there. So their goal was like, okay, how do we benefit from this? And Ms. Donna here has always been like, I want to do it bigger than just for my child. I want to leave a legacy. I want Alex to leave a legacy. And it's been the dream since then. We've just been flying. Every parent we've been where we are. We got to where we are through the fight from the parents saying, we want to be on that journey with you guys. We want to experience what Alex is experiencing and the other members of the Difference. So it's been a beautiful ride.
I think we started off looking very differently at autism and neurodiversity in a way that doesn't preclude someone from activities, but quite the opposite, that we open that door and open the window to capabilities. So it's unraveling a person's likes, their dislikes, and not just showing them what they can do, but experiencing that with them. And through that process, they gain so much in the way of confidence and feeling good about themselves. So it's really a journey that we don't observe someone take. We take it with them. And I think that's why the difference is so different. It's like every child is our child. Yeah. And as they experience life or the complications that life can give them, we help them through those complications in a way that is very connected. So we're extremely connected to every single member that's with us.
And I think you said it before, it's the friendship like Bayo and Alex had. And I've like, just from the one time I was over to your location in Mount Airy, you can see that with all the people there. Like that was just so different, I think, from other places that I've been. And I mean, it's just extraordinary. And I loved seeing those relationships. And I know the parents just love that as well. And there's that fear, after 21 of like falling off the cliff and just falling through the cracks and not having those relationships that they had for so many years in the school system. And I feel like you guys are able to offer that. So it's definitely special.
And very quickly, as I'm sitting here thinking about this, if you could offer an explanation or a definition of what the difference is for our listeners who are unfamiliar with the program. Like if you had to walk into a room and give a pitch to what the difference is, what would you say?
It's an enrichment program. It's a skill enrichment program. It's a place with friendship, volunteer opportunity, a place you get to find your voice and have a voice and have a place to use your skills, shine your skill and polish them. Use it as a teaching skills, learn from others. When members come into the difference, it's like a shock to them at first because they get to a place that I can say what I really feel. I can really have a struggle and I still get loved and nobody's fighting me back. So it's a place for everybody to be able to be themselves. And our goal every single day is to teach that independent skills, right? I always say to the staff, make me relevant in your life. We are going to give you every tool within our ability, time after time, to make sure we're not that important to you because you can cook yourself now. You could make your own bed. You could go to a job. Even if you need support, it doesn't mean the person is doing it for you. They're there with you to help you land the job and get promotions. So our job is to open that door. We always say there's no box. You create the box. People create the box. Our job is to open that door to unlimited opportunities. You have relationship. You build friendship. It's a lifetime. Parents are going to go away before the members go away, right? So our job is to create that community that stays as a bond that will always be there for that member for the rest of their life.
That's a great way to put it, because I feel like so many times I'm talking to families about thinking of that circle of support for their loved one. And I know so many don't want to admit they're not going to be there for the rest of their lives, but it is a hard pill to swallow. So having that group of people that also, embrace them and are there for them is so important.
That's so important. We say the same thing, Meghan, all the time. And we talk to parents about the importance of when your son or daughter leaves high school or leaves the program with which they're in, that that the parents recognize that their job is to continue to forge growth so that adult becomes prepared to be as independent as is possible, whatever that independence means for each person. And when a parent says, I'm not ready to let go, I understand that as a parent, but at the same time, one has to try to put themselves in the place of that adult. One day that adult will have to navigate life by themselves. And it's not always fun for a parent to let go, but it is best for that adult to start, relinquishing a little bit of control.
And I like how you phrased, the level of independence that they can get, because I feel like every one of our friends we're talking about has some form of independence. And it's not black and white. There's lots of gray there, and it can be a small thing, but it's a monumental achievement. And I think we need to celebrate that.
I love that.
So I guess when you were coming up with the idea of, forming this program, were there any resources? Was there anyone else that you went to for advice or an idea of how to get started? I feel like there's so many parents out there that are, they have that vision and they want exactly customizing it, but they don't know where to go.
Yeah, I think I hear all the time parents that say, I wish I could do this.
Yep.
So I think that for us, we had actually talked about doing this for many years because we saw that there was a gap and a need for people to make their own decisions. But as far as actually doing it, you have to have some big girl and big boy panties, pull them up and say, I'm going to do it. And for me, I think I have always had the kind of character that goes with my gut feeling and takes a risk and just does it. There wasn't anyone doing what we were doing. So we didn't really have anyone except for ourselves to bounce off how to do it. Bayo is extremely resourceful and creative with how to react and interact with people of all levels of abilities. So he has always been a great resource and a great inspiration to me personally.
And I would say that thank you, Mom, and I'm very grateful. It takes a lot to do it. I always say to people, we find pleasure in doing it, but it's not as easy as it looks. It takes someone of a magnitude to give up a whole career that's at the top, right? And that is what the struggle of most parents. That's why there's no roadmap, because people are not willing to do that. It's just, let's call it spade a spade, to give up a whole career and say, I'm going to follow a dream that has no driveway, no pathway. I just have to drive through the bush and create way. And by the way, we started this just right after COVID. We're still in the middle of COVID. That is another dagger to it, to say, no businesses are open. You really can't get anybody. You're not allowed to commute. You're not allowed to be in one place. But what we did is, it's a meeting space. It's not a staying space. We come in there, we get a plan for the day. Everybody get to pick the a la carte menu and they get to go. So we're really not using the space as a meeting space, but a space to meet and get out in the community. So there is nothing out there at that point that give us a clear understanding, but we know what we want. And we really say, we're going to do it even if it's only Alex. We're going to do it every day.
And we said if we could survive in COVID, during COVID, after we got through COVID, I think that we would be very, very much more organized, because we really didn't know very much of what we were doing. We knew that we wanted to offer people skills to build on. But I think you said a very important thing, Meghan, which is building community. So our goal from the very beginning was so that when parents are not able to be around their children anymore for aging, because of aging, and we all become seniors, that our children, their children, would have a community feeling. So if they have a volunteer opportunity and they don't turn up to that volunteer opportunity that they've been going to week after week after week, that someone at that facility would say, well, where's Mary Jane? She's here every week, and go look for her and be concerned about her. So that still stands as today. We want to build, our goal is to build community around that person. And like Bayo said, we have probably 25 partners that give us jobs, volunteer opportunities and various things. And we build close relationships with them so that when that individual goes to that job and perhaps doesn't show up, they're able to call us and say, they didn't show up today, where are they? I think that's terribly important, to build community that really cares about that person. So that's why we did this.
Yeah, I love that their absence is noticed because they're an important member of the community. Kind of going into it then, you talked a little bit about your connections. Can you tell us a little bit about the program? Because I know you started with one and now you've got multiple sites.
I said, I was just trying to write the list of couple of partnerships that we've had in town within the 4 major cities that we're in now. I was like, I'm going to give, because we need to give them their flowers, because when we started, there is nothing as such as what we have in town of Montreal. It was like a little town with, COVID going on. They have a mayor election going on. Everything is quiet. And there is this little tiny company in the little office, like as big as you can imagine it. We come down the street, we're always greeting everybody, giving everybody positive energy. They come to our space to do coffees and teas on Wednesdays. I still remember those days where the current mayor just lost the election, so he used to come with them. And since then, we've had a relationship with Chinese Shell, Mommy Magic Cake, Das Smoothies Place, Ace Hardware, Blossom Flower, The Last Word, Mount Airy Common, Alpaca Farm, Erie Insurance, the Wagner Meat Market, the Mount Airy Bowling, the Kiwanis Club, the Mayor's Office, the Restock. I can go on and on and
That's
on.
just in Mount Airy.
Wow.
I'm saying a little, right? And the beauty of what we started is when we first started, we used to actually go to those organizations and knock on the doors and try to get in. Now, organizations are walking in and say, I want to be part of this movement. I see you guys on Facebook. I want my company attached to this. And it speaks to the testament, not us, but our members. Because we always say, we're not coming to get a free job with you. We're coming to do our job. And we don't want to just be at the bottom of the barrel. We need the same opportunity to progress in your organization. Because I have autism doesn't mean I cannot do stuff. I just need to find a skill, an opportunity that matches with my strengths. So, and that's what we do. We don't just get our members' job. We don't just get them on volunteer opportunity. We listen to their voice. We listen to their team, their family. And we understand that if we do that the best way that we're good at, they tend to keep their job. Like, for instance, somebody that lost food and have a weight issue, we listen to the parent and we listen to the member and we encourage them. So one of the young ladies we have works at the flower shop. She's amazing at it. She even go on a day off and say, hey, I want to go say hi to my coworkers.
Oh.
It called them friends. So it is so important with what we do. We always understand like our reason for getting the job is different. We got bills to pay. Sometimes our members need different motivation.
Mm-hmm.
So that friendship, that relationship matter more to them sometimes than even the paycheck. Because they don't have a bill to pay, so they can't connect on the bill side. They can't connect on you have family problem or financial or medical. They go, I don't really deal with that. But if you build it on a relationship, these people that you're working with, a member was having a birthday party and we're all in Frederick last Friday. Amazing. The family brought their children over, their members over, and they were like, oh my goodness, this is what I want for my child on their birthday. This is not a school, but it's like almost like a work experience now where you get to go to your friend's birthday party and hang out with your friend's family. So the difference is it's beyond just a program. It's not even a program. It's pretty much like sometimes, people will come in and say, this feels like a college atmosphere. Or it was like, oh my goodness, this feels like, like a work environment, but everybody really love themselves. We have a staff that used to be, in the police, in the military, he's worked so many jobs. It's over 40 something, probably in 50s. He says, Bayo, for the first time on vacation, I couldn't wait to go back to work. Thank you for the opportunity. He says, I look forward to see the members and to come back. He said, before in my life, I used to go, oh my goodness, the vacation is almost over. But now it's like, I want to get back to work. I want to be back with those guys. And it's not just staff. We're all equal. There's no staff bathroom, members bathroom. There's no special call. It's all a bunch of guys and girls, ladies. It's just trying to be better and learn and given the opportunity to impact life. It's the best place to be in the world every single day. I'm telling you, I love what I do. We all do, and everybody in their jobs is all. And we single-handedly pick our staff. We don't just hire people just because they want a job. We want people that their heart belongs there. The one that doesn't take it for granted. They come in every single day, understand they have a role to play. They have a job to do, and it's to help each member become independent, feel loved, feel respected. I feel like they're on top of the world because they're not defined by DIS. They're defined by who they are.
Yeah,
I think that, and also we love it so much, Meghan. This man keeps his phone on all day and all night, 24/7. So the members actually text him
and FaceTime.
And FaceTime in the middle of the night. So it could be 2:00 in the morning. If you call Bayo, he's picking up the phone to every member, every parent. So it's sort of 24/7 we're on, not because it's a job, but even
it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. It's a cultural shift. And it's funny because I've through my son, which he's 36, in 1988, I saw the beginnings of autism and what was that, and nobody knew about it. And then growing up through a system that treated people sometimes not very fairly, sometimes not equally. And to go into a place like The Difference and actually change, to witness the change of culture in day programs, because we're bringing those each individual into the forefront and saying, this is what they can do, this is what they're capable of. We all use the same bathroom, we all eat off of the same plates, we don't eat different food to them. And I do believe it has had an impact on the culture of where we stand today with people with different abilities and disabilities. Just driving it.
One question that I have, and in a way, it's almost like we're going to change lanes for a second, but I am fascinated by the business side of this, in the sense that you decide that you want to create a community, you want to create a safe space for individuals, but that's not necessarily something that has been done. So what were some of the steps that you had to take to get there?
Wow, that's a great question. So we started it, Patrick, with $1,400 in our bank account. So we opened this little bank account. We didn't really think about a liaison with anybody else. We just thought that perhaps through private money, private donations, or whatever it could be, that we could run a program. And then we discovered through talking to parents that they had budgets through the Department of Disabilities in Maryland, and that they wanted to use their funding for our program, but for self-directed services. And so what we did was we contacted DDA and became a vendor for self-directed services. So most of the people that we serve are funded, we are not, but they are funded through self-directed services, which is government waiver.
Yes, I'm of DDA. So.
And I know I alluded to this before, but the 2-17, I want to throw that in there. What does that stand for?
Yeah, that's Alexander, my son's birthday. So he was born on February 17th, 1988. And it was important to, without Alexander, we would not be where we are. We wouldn't have the people that surround us. So I think it was very important for me to attach that name. And it was very important to Bayo that his name was attached, so that legacy, it really does have meaning. And when I'm no longer associated in one way or another through a retirement, Bayo continues that legacy. And 217 is on all of our documents and paperwork. And I think it gives Alexander a voice, because, they say that without a voice, you are powerless. And that is a very poignant and strong commitment that we have to our members, that even though some of them do not have a voice, that we give them that voice. And I think that the 217 is his voice.
I love that personal touch. I think it just speaks to the values of you guys, and just the family feelings. Like, the relationships are just so important. It's just not another client coming in. They are individuals that you really are taking the time to get to know. And the whole process of things, and as you guys have grown, and you've grown a lot over the last year or so. I mean, Bayo, you mentioned about your the social media before. I love looking at the Facebook pictures and just seeing the variety of pictures and the places, and just all the happy faces. They all truly are living their best lives.
We get from parents all the time, like the kind of lifestyle you get at a difference. I
And they
want
join.
to be I want to leave my job and come in. And it starts from the moment, like I get this from parents. Oh my goodness, where did you get these drivers from? They come into my house and, big hugs and a big smile to the members. All they went to the center, they walked in is with hugs and friendship. They ask about one another, like, hey, where's this person? Oh, he's at his job. I was having a meeting, one of the members, he has his government typical meeting, and he was talking to the person, well, some of the guys are gone already. They went on a trip. Some people went to the job, they're volunteering. I was just staying around because I'm waiting for you. Oh my God, did I hold you up? He says, yes, but it's okay. So that's the beauty of the difference. It's like, no matter how big we are or what location we are, we call it a starting point and an end point. Sometimes for some members, we have members that don't even step their foot in the building. We meet straight up from work or from their volunteer places, or a staff goes straight from their house and take them to their gym or something, for instance. So it's always a place that you come in, it's like an alley cut menu, right? Picking a shift. Okay, this morning I would like to have a yoga, and I'm going to want to go to the movies. I want to volunteer at that place, and I'm going to go to my job in the afternoon. And they literally just sell out their days, and boom, they go with their staff. And the beauty of that is they still have that relationship and that friendship, but they're still able to run an individual life. Because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, one of the things that is so important to us is everybody to have a voice of the L, not to follow crowd, because we know our guys are people pleaser. Sometimes they tend to make everybody happy or make their parent happy. We always say, no, we want you to be happy. We want you to walk in here knowing that this is my heavenly space. Yeah. And we get members that don't want to go home.
And I think it's attributed to the growth, because word has come from various fractions of Maryland to say, when are you going to be in Potomac? When are you coming to Annapolis? When are you coming to, different places? And the beauty is that in that growth, the vision is that we do expand and give the entire state of Maryland opportunities. But the growth is also, for us to expand into other avenues for people with not just jobs, but housing. Housing is a huge problem for people that have autism and disabilities in general, as you know. So our vision goes into Maryland a little bit further, but also to bring housing into the forefront because it is so lacking. So we're not quite sure how housing is going to be tied to the difference at this particular point in time, but we would like it to be a part of what we do.
That's great to hear, because that is a topic I hear a lot of families talking about.
We recently, and I forget specifically who it was, but I want to say that there was a conversation that there was a group of transition coordinators, and housing came up more than a few times.
Yeah, and I know a couple families that as they approach 21, they are thinking about it. And the thought process they have is, well, I'm just going to find a program that has that to offer as well. And while that's easy, I think it would be nice if you didn't have to worry, like, okay, well, this suits for the day, so might as well just do the residential. You want to make sure it's a good match in all areas. So
yes, you do. And depending on someone's socioeconomic situation, group homes are, in my opinion, are less than favorable for a person that has great needs, because oftentimes their voices are not heard, and their quote unquote behaviors come out of a need to have their voices heard. And so behaviorally, I would say it's not the best situation for many people. And then if you're looking for an apartment or to share an apartment in self-directed services, you have to fit the bill for that. So that can be very, very expensive. So you really want to find a roommate that matches your son or your daughter's personality. And it's not always easy to find. Yeah. So I just think the whole housing fraction for people who self-direct their programs is a very complicated one on different levels.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
One question that I have in speaking to something that the both of you had mentioned before, when it comes to this outward expansion, this growth, especially when there is such a need for it. However, from the business side of things, how do you make sure that the experience stays authentic?
Well, it's very important. And I think that question is a very, very important question. I would say for me that in interviewing staff and making sure that the staff are not just equipped with the tools that they're going to be required to use on many different levels, from behaviorally to safety and every other way, is that people understand that you're not coming to work for an organization that is a cookie cutter organization. You're coming to an organization that has and places huge expectations upon you in order to work with us. So a person has to be extremely motivated, very trustworthy, and we really see them with our own eyes work with a member for many, many months before we completely invest in that person. Mm. So our goal is not to have many, many members. It's to have enough quality trained staff members that can continue our legacy, continue that standard to one that is satisfactory to us.
Yes. So we have our own in-house quality control, pretty much. That's what she's telling us. So it's so important to us, like to say, every single member's experience, not their lifestyle now, they get to pick and choose what they want, but the experience of the difference, no matter what location they go, stay the same. Treated with respect, given opportunity to develop and to learn, to teach, to be part of a community, to have a great friendship and family. All those costs stay the same. So one of the things we do is like our leadership comes from within. Every single person, when they walk in, we literally walk with staff, preparing them for the next road ahead. Every single staff walking through the door. They have to come in earlier than the member shows up. They stay later than the member shows up. I can't count many times where we are more overstaffed in the real world, but to the difference, it's never been about money. It's always been about the service and the quality of that service. So what it has given us over the time is we've been able to breed, right? I use the word breed, staffs way ahead of their time. So they are kind of waiting for that opportunity to jump on their own ship. Like, for instance, the young lady that is running the Ellicott City Center, she's been preparing for a manager job for almost a year. She was in Westminster, was in Frederick location, come to Mount Oriole location, so they get a chance to have the experience and keep the experience the same and unique before they actually get out. And two, she didn't go by herself. She went with veteran staff. Mm. We didn't start with a bunch of brand new members. So the members from one location go to the other place. So every extended location becomes almost like the same thing because the members are moving, the staffs are moving, they get used to that environment before new member comes in and they bring in new staff. I said, even to the personal support side, we start training staff when we don't even get paid for that member that they're going to work with. Because what is important to us is to teach them the culture, how to treat somebody, how to respect somebody, how to work with them in an home setting, or how to work with them in the community. Because we always say, there is no babysitting at the difference. There is no doing it for you at the difference. Your job is to help that person be independent, be free of life decision on their own and be part of their own life. So the beauty of it is not having the goal of money, of financial piece to it, help us tremendously to be able to say the book is always open. Mm-hmm. Train the staff to the maximum level, all level of training, DDA, even unrequired training, CPR, first aid, CMT, community, every single training we say, you see it, you get it to the staff. So they are well prepared and well equipped outside of their heart being part of the job.
So we hope it doesn't, we always talk to each other constantly. We always say we don't want it to be watered down. It can't go into a multiple chain kind of franchising sort of experience. It's got to be original, and the standard is kept up because we're always at every location. And when we mention location, our members circulate in and around Howard County, Frederick, Westminster, Columbia. They're all over the place. So we follow them. So we have people that actually will turn up at a park. So if we know that we have a member and a staff member going to a park one-on-one, someone will be watching at that park.
I was in DC last week. So
we hope, Patrick and Meghan, never to allow our standard to be watered down.
Give some place for that.
It's a big fear, and it's a great question.
You kind of hinted at it earlier, the location or the choice of location. Do you guys have like a criteria that you use when you are looking for a location, or does something just jump out at you?
Okay, we have a criteria. So, and it comes from years and years of observing, the traditional program being in the backwoods somewhere or in an industrial park. We wanted to be in a town and in the center of town, because that's where all the opportunities are, the opportunities to meet people, the opportunities to get jobs. So we actually do pick where we're going to be based on the opportunities that we feel our members can partake in. And it's lovely in Mount Airy because there are parks, there are shops, there's a lot of job opportunities, volunteer opportunities. But for someone who may not be able to volunteer because of their disposition, we have lots of parks and just some fun things that everyone can choose from.
Yes.
So in every town that we go, in Frederick, we're right on Market Street. So if you drop a pin, we're in the heart of the historic district in Frederick. Same in Westminster, same in Mount Airy, same in Ellicott City.
I love it. I have to come see the Ellicott City site.
Yes.
Oh my God, you're going to love
The pictures looked amazing from the grand opening.
And that was, I remember when you guys had expanded in Westminster and you were taking photos of the building and you were kind of cataloging it as you were going along. And I was paying attention to that myself.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much.
I know that the parents in our county were very excited to hear about the Ellicott City one.
Oh,
yes.
How wonderful.
I got parents, I was at an event this Saturday and I met a lot of those parents and they were like, I cannot wait to meet you by on Thursday. They book an appointment, they want to see it, they want to come in. And that, like what your mom said, is like, it's so important to be in the out of town. I said, he gave us a very easy access to all these organizations. We don't even have to knock too hard on those doors. We're right in your face.
Yeah.
We volunteer with an organization this past week, and the owner texts me and says, would your guys like to make some quick bucks? I said, sure, why not? So he texted me, he wanted to move a divider from the office. We put it out on the floor, and two of the guys says, we can do it. We got the muscle. Like, you go get the money. So that's how beautiful it is. That anybody can walk and see us. We're like an open shell.
Yeah.
I
love it.
Walks in, the Rotary Club walks in, the Kiwanis Club walks in. They come for a cup of coffee or tea. Random parents will walk in. I'm like, when did you guys open your Harvest son that is autistic? And the next thing is like, the son is part of the difference. So.
Yeah, being accessible. I think being accessible is important for our members as well, so that they know that, as Bayo said, we have the mayor of the town that just walks in and says, who can make me a cup of coffee? It's important for our members, if they are within the community, that they have that ability to open their lives and open their minds to meeting various people, that they're not just with each other, that they're actually out there in the community, and that inclusion is terribly, terribly important. It can't be underrated. Inclusion is everything. It's just a way of life that we want them to feel included. So being in the town is to that advantage.
Yeah, and I feel like we work so hard in the school system for inclusion that you don't want it to get lost after they leave just because, whatever path they choose doesn't have that opportunity. So that's great to hear.
Thank you.
So then that, of course, I feel like is going to lead into the next big question is, what has been the biggest challenge in this whole process? Or challenges?
What's the top 5? Yeah.
That's a good question. one, we take our challenges on anyway. That's what we, from the get-go, we've taken an option that is not there and created it and kind of wrong with it. Of course, we'll say the biggest one is, I feel like we've succeeded in so many ways. Maybe dealing with the government side of things, just trying to get things going, trying to explain who we are. Because when you're out of the box, the typical system, it becomes a little explanation over and over again to most people. But so far, so good. We've blown past our own imagination. We'll sit down and say, do you even imagine this will be where it is? Do you know we don't even market the difference? We don't advertise. We don't do anything. All we do is post pictures. And
just do us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Facebook picture that people see, I said, is less than 10% of what we do. And but without posting and family and friends that comes to the difference, they blow it up themselves. We have not even single-handedly said, we need to sell this organization. No.
I was going to say, I'd be afraid to see if you advertised, because the way it expands now from word of mouth.
Yes, because every single time a new parent walk in, this is what they say. Oh, you know who I'm coming from the sources of parents. They told me. Or I live on the same street. I saw the kids happy every day. I want my daughter to be part of that. So is that amazing? So I would say, struggle. We just take everything we stride and say, we're not looking left, we're not looking right. We're going to give the best of every member that walk through this door and nothing less.
And I think also from a parental standpoint, if you see, it's the fear that we have experienced as parents in going from school, where you have teachers who support you, special educators who are so involved, especially like yourself, so involved in that day-to-day life, know that person inside and out, know the family, and their fear in leaving the school system. What are they going to find next? Mm-hmm. And I can only say that if you find the difference, I think that you're extremely fortunate, because there are so many programs with which your child is literally a binder. The binder goes everywhere with that individual, and that person isn't known for their personality. They're known for the binder. They're just a number, and we didn't want that to be the case. That's a challenge, not for us, but trying to explain that to a parent, that actually your son or your daughter will be so free. It will be an experience that's so liberating to them. To trust us with that. We feel very, very fortunate that parents trust us with them.
I think it's the testament of seeing the kids doing so much and engaging so much, not just sitting dark. I always say to the parent, I was say, oh my goodness, I can't even afford all those trips, because some days it's 100 miles away from where we are. We go to Pennsylvania. We were in DC twice in 1 week. One of the difference I've stand aside from other organizations that I've worked for in the past, we don't have a geofence of where we can go after because of mileage cost or gas cost. The difference is open. DC is part of the difference. Pennsylvania is, Virginia is, So if there is something there for us to go see or to go explore and enjoy and meet or learn from, we're going for it. And the staff knows that. Every single staff knows that. So they are constantly looking for things and exploring things for the members to enjoy, and giving them the opportunity to choose which one makes sense to them. So.
And you have a variety too, which is wonderful.
That's the thing. Every single day, it's like trying to get people to not follow each other all day long. It's like, so we can't. Some members, we have to move them aside and say, "What do you want to do? Oh, what's that person doing? Don't worry about what they're doing. You have your choices. You can pick your own menu, and that's how beautiful it is. We have 7 vans to be on the road every single day. So.
7 different directions.
7 different directions, and every staff uses their vehicle, which will reimburse them for some mileage. So their own vehicle, they use it. So we're constantly, like I said, wherever you turn, you're going to see a different member or staff somewhere, some places driving and moving. So, but it's the beauty of it is not focusing on the money has given us that freedom to do all that.
Yeah.
without turning back and say, let's do it. They want to do that. Let's go for it.
Yeah, I think because
Someone like to do.
it was so genuine. You know, our love for this field is so genuine. It's so exciting to be with people. And I always feel every day that when I walk into the difference, I feel like I found myself. Working in one field, as I was a classical ballet choreographer for 30 years and teaching all over the world, I feel like, yes, that was wonderful and it was a great opportunity, but I never really found my place. I feel like after 30 years of working in one job, I have found my place, and it's the happiest place to be with people who literally have no demands. They're just open souls.
They're just themselves.
Yes. They have no hidden agenda.
Yep.
You know, I always say to Bayo, they're closest to God because they're just such a heart that is so genuine.
Yeah, and they don't overthink. They want to give you a hug, they'll give you a hug.
Yes.
if they're pissed off, they'll let you know.
Yes.
But they, they're just their truth selves, and I completely understand where you're coming from. And I think you answered what was the most rewarding thing about it. I mean, just being around them and doing it for them.
I feel so honored because, like you said, Meghan, they have, no preconceived notions. They're open books. Their lives are open. They're so giving. And I always say, if they have a moment that that they're displeased, you'll know.
Mhm.
You'll know. And it's not them that has to learn. It's us. We need to learn.
Right.
We need to learn about that person's likes, dislikes, what makes them tick, what makes them happy, and how everybody speaks in one way or another. So if you get smacked up across the face, it's because you didn't listen.
Yep. It's not their fault, it's mine.
It is so rewarding. I said, I always say every single day, I don't have a job. It's a lifestyle because it's what I chose and what I've chosen me and all of us that have been a part of the difference. We are blessed and we're fortunate to be in this field and to be working with these gifts. Seeing the member go from a struggle moment, being able to communicate their wants and needs and giving them tools to be able to do that effectively in their own way and using their strength, it's amazing. From taking somebody to say, the lock, I hope you keep him for more than 2 days, to that same person going out to a restaurant to eat, going to listen to music, I'll give you an example. I have a young man that doesn't do blood work. He won't do blood work because he will snap his hand all the time. And I told the parent, I says, if you trust me and you put the blood work in my area, I will do it. And he says, good luck, Bayo. Doctors came out because they need blood work to be able to continue the medication. And we did it again and again. He had a flu and COVID shot last week, both arms. He did it successfully. He get haircut just because now it comes to the difference. The parent did not just get happy, they bought a house closer to the difference. Just to be family of the difference. We have family buying a complete house for their kid now, just because of the difference. I said, the joy of what we do is everlasting. I woke up, sometimes I get up at 4 a.m. and I'm like smiling. I says, I can't wait to get back in. And that doesn't mean I don't get scratched or spit on, swallow somebody's spit. You probably know the person. So, because they just let it go. And I was like, there's nothing I can do. They're coming out of a van. Well, we're going to have to rock this together. But seeing them progress in life and learning skills and understanding that it is not a cookie cutter, it's not one way to learn. It's each person have their own way. Nobody's judging them. If you don't know how to measure a cup of coffee, we'll get you the coffee pot. We're going to personalize your life for you in the best way for you. Yeah. And seeing that progress every single day is the best thing a man or woman can experience in life. Seeing that genuine smile, like real love, somebody screaming, even though they couldn't talk, I miss you. Where have you been? We have a Labor Day off. I spend the entire day on FaceTime and phone call. I can't wait to be back on Monday and text messages coming in and says, good Lord, if I don't have a chance to do this again, God take me. I'm done. Because at the end, that's the best job in the world. So we're so blessed to be part of their life.
Well, I will tell you what, Meghan, I think that's a heck of a place to
Yeah.
end the conversation. Guys, we have been working on this for so long. Thank you so much for sitting down and talking with us.
Thank you so much. I could listen to you guys talk all day.
Thank you. I think this is the first time that we've actually shared our story.
I know I heard it when I came out to visit, but I'm glad we can get the word out because it's an amazing story.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you both so much.
We would love the information from this and all our other discussions to reach as many families as possible, and we need your help to do that. So please like, follow, and share out our podcast. You can find our conversations on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple, Spotify, YouTube Music, and that's just naming a few. So please share and share often. You can always find the links to the information from this discussion in our show notes.
Check out our YouTube channel. We've done some of the legwork for you by curating videos of topics that revolve around transition. We have playlists, we cover guardianship, alternatives to guardianship, able accounts, and there's still more to come as we are finding those videos that we think will be valuable to use. So please be sure to subscribe there as well. And then finally, check out our website, which is full of information and links to resources around the transition process. So make sure to go to www.postsecondarytransition.com. We thank you so much for the time you spent with us and look forward to talking again soon.